Hey you guys, and welcome to Minecraft, I guess. Now this probably isn't the start of a new series. I've been struggling a bit since I got home from my pseudo holiday with establishing routine and things again. And I just want to put a video out there to let you guys know I'm fine, technically. I haven't lost any limbs. I have all 10 fingers and all 10 toes. And I'm waking up in the morning and that sort of thing. I'm just having a tricky time establishing a routine. So what are we doing here? I'm doing what I kind of just felt like doing in the spur of the moment. And that is I am developing a pack, maybe. It's an idea I'm toying with. And it's a magic pack, and it's for 112, and it's called Keep It Simple Sorcerer. Now, people might recognize that as an adaptation of Keep It Simple Stupid, which is the KISS principle. So the pack is called also KISS. The KISS principle is a principle used in any design, really. I can't remember where it specifically comes from. Might be engineering. I'm not totally sure, but I know that many design things have picked up the KISS principle, which is keep it simple, stupid. The idea being that overcomplicating things makes things less effective, or holds back the work, or reduces the efficiency of the project, or basically, you know, if it's more complex, there's complexity added to it, then it becomes harder and harder to complete a project, or the project becomes more and more convoluted and doesn't come out the other end as a completed project. So, Keep It Simple Sorcerer. What is Keep It Simple Sorcerer? Well, hopefully it's a small-ish magic pack, small comparative to a lot of mod packs these days anyway. There's quite a few mods in here at the moment, but a lot of it exists purely from the standpoint of me checking things that I maybe want to keep in here, maybe don't, and basically what we're going to do today is I'm going to walk you through my design philosophy, right? So, Keep It Simple Sorcerer. The idea behind it is not so much that the pack is simple, but the path of gameplay is simple. The pack also will try to keep things more simple by reducing the mod count and that sort of thing, but more that you are kind of railroaded down different paths. I kind of want to try out a few of the mods that have come out recently, like game stages, mob stages, item stages. They're all called something stages, that help mod pack makers force things behind gates during play. And that's what I mean by railroading. Now you may be like, why would you railroad somebody in a sandbox? Well, it's kind of like how diamonds are railroaded behind iron tools, right? You can't just go down to Y level 11 and get diamonds with your stone pick or wood pick. You have to work your way up. The idea being that a tech tree that you work through is more rewarding than a disparate series of things that you can all access at once, because it's both confusing, overwhelming, and doesn't allow the person to have kind of time to do things. Something I've personally found, and some of the inspiration for Keep It Simple Sorcerer, is that a lot of what my problem has been lately with mod packs, and why I haven't been able to stick it out with anything, is because I'm a creator. I like to build pretty things, but while there is so much to do in terms of progression down one mod or another mod or that mod or this mod. I kind of get too railroaded, no. I kind of get too overcomplicated in my own mind about what I need to do. Case in point, just before I gave up on the latest Minecraft series with the Rax pack, I wanted to build a necropolis, and I decided I wanted to make it out of an embers block, but that meant that I would have to go all the way down through embers to get that block. And that was also on the back of having to do a certain amount of better than wolves and stuff like that, and I'm kind of being critical of my own pack here. I liked the pack that I made, but the pack that I made, it was too much about exploration, because you would constantly be wrapped up in exploration rather than just like sitting down to do some nice building or something. And that kind of overcomplication of what you're doing is what kind of spawned this idea. Now, let's take a look at, now that I got the rambling out of the way, let's take a look at some of the mods I've gotten here so far, and whether I keep them or not is, you know, subject to whatever happens in terms of me looking through this stuff and what I want to do. This is all vanilla. I've got some quality of life mods, first of all. I've got mouse tweaks. I've got, I can't ever remember the name of it. Excuse me, JEI. I just created this world, so I don't have cheating enabled. This one. I have this one. It's probably in my mod list, actually. I should probably not be so callous about this sort of thing, and recognize the creators a bit more. It's crafting something. Crafting tweaks. There we go. I also have Keyboard Wizard and Quark, but Quark's more than quality of life. Quark's the whole thing. Quark is completely unconfigured at the moment, but I'm really looking forward to using the, well, I already have used the easy configurator for Quark, but I'm looking forward to making a pack with the easy configurator for Quark. But this is all before any configuration, so everything is that's default is on. We have past vanilla abyssal craft. Because one of the things that I wanted to do with the pack is kind of like have a light magic versus dark magic angle. So you do have choice, and you can go down any path at any time, but the idea is that you go through mods which are delegated as light magic, and you go through another series of mods which are delegated as dark magic. Currently, that would mean that you'd always want to go dark magic, because Abyssal Craft is way overpowered compared to some other things, but that's where Craft Tweaker comes in. You can change numbers and things yourself. It's to bring it in line with other mods. Things are so good. Oblivion Death Bomb. See, there you go. Dynamic surroundings have been very loud. Abyssal Craft, we have still Abyssal Craft. Still Abyssal Craft, Animania, because there's a certain amount of mods here which I can't just avoid adding for some reason. I like my mods that add a little bit of aesthetics, and Animania is one of those. In terms of Keep It Simple Sorcerer, though, I'll be turning off the Animania mechanics, so to speak, so you'll feed and water sheep and stuff the normal way, but they'll just have the new models, as well as the new Animania animals. And they have wagons and stuff now, which is cool. Look at that. I placed two of them accidentally. A covered wagon. And it's attached to me now. Isn't that cool? How do you access this? Shift right click? Nope, that's how you mount it. And right click is to attach it to yourself. Oh, you have to be attached to it and then you right click it. Or maybe not. Not sure. Not sure. Oh god, everything's going crazy. Time set 0. Sorry about that. We will be doing time set 0 a bunch. Maybe twice. Seems to take 10 minutes from start to night time. So yeah, Animania for the kind of fun aspects of having nice models and that sort of thing. I've also added Architect because, again, keep it simple sorcerer, right? There is simplicity in the idea that you can copy and paste bits of buildings or whole buildings or that sort of thing rather than you having to build it all over again. So that's there. Item provider, fluid provider. Yeah. Tailor's work table, carpenter's work table. This stuff is, see, this is one of the ones where I don't know whether I'll be keeping it or not. These provide special tables, which I can use Craft Tweaker or what have you to create brand new recipes for and interface with them and to break up crafting. Because again, if I'm going to simplify things and bring them all in line with each other, I'm going to want things to be kind of streamlined in that sense. So it could be that, you know, certain tables come in use for certain aspects of building, but then again, maybe you just use a basic work table, you know. Again, it's up in the air whether I'd want to use this or not. These don't actually have any recipes by themselves. These are just in here for the sake of being in here. And if they're next to each other, you can switch tabs. So if I got all 5 of them, all 6, whoops, stuck them all together. And then looked at this one, you can see all of them. So that's fun. It was just a, you know, this is part of making packs to me, is that you just throw a whole lot of, excuse my French, shit together that makes it fun in your head, and then you start like chopping bits off, and it's kind of like how you would make a sculpture in real life. You know, big slab of marble, and then you start chipping it away at it. And right now we've just got the big slab of marble. We have a bunch of mods together. Or maybe that's your type of rock, right? Let's take this analogy to the nth level. If you're making a tech pack, that's granite. If you're making a magic pack, that's marble. If you're making a primitive pack, that's basalt, you know, like whatever your sculpting material is. We have a big slab of marble. We have a whole lot of magic mods or magic related mods and whatever else I put in here, and now we're going to carve it. And the other stuff that I put in here is the coloration of the marble, you know, taking an analogy to the extreme. Oh, also the other way that these work is that you have your bench, but it requires tools. So put a lead needle in one of these slots. I think it would be that slot if it was working. And the table will use that durability from the tool to craft things. So again, it's a little more complexity than maybe is necessary for this mod pack, right? We have Astral Sorcery. This is one of the mods which I would definitely say would be on the light side. So if we had, go back to Abyssal, just grab a block from Abyssal, any old block. You know, you got your light path and your dark path. Maybe that would be the end of the light path, maybe that would be the end of the dark path. I'm not so sure. Not until I have a better understanding, and maybe I'll start throwing things down as we look through here. See, I've added a bibliocraft because that's always nice to have. And block craftery and bonfires. Bonfires is awesome. It just adds Dark Souls bonfires, to be quite honest, but it still adds them as a thing. I think you do pile of bone and ash. You grab a coiled sword and you go bloop, you go bloop, and now you have a bonfire. Herpaderper. Accept. And then we go somewhere else. And we call this one Derpadadee. And now we can go from Derpadadee to Herpaderper. And kind of like in Dark Souls, they've made it so different dimensions are the different chapter tabs. And the overworld being the first chapter. Herpaderper. Derpadadee. Cool. And that is bonfire travel. And you make a coiled sword with some stuff. Or some other stuff. I don't know where you get the coiled sword fragment. It doesn't have a drop. Maybe if that's intentional, maybe that's so that you can add that to a mob or whatever. Anyway, that was fun. I found that. Haven't seen it in other packs, that's why I stopped to explain it. Botania. Everyone knows Botania. Botania would, I think... Botania, I think, would definitely be on the light path. Somewhere. Botania. So much Botania. I'm not an enormous fan of Botania, but I have started to get a little more into it lately. And there's a Dreamwood avatar. That's pretty cool. From Botania by one of the fans of the Rorax plays themselves, the one and only Flexo. I thought that was super cool, the Dreamwood avatar. Rod of Will and Rod of Toil. I can't remember which is which, but one lets this thing right click and the other one lets that thing left click. So I guess we could find out which is which with a lever. Rod of Toil, the right click, buddy. Is that the right click? Maybe I need a wand of forest. Bud. I'm going to turn you. I think maybe Rod of Toil is the incorrect one. Rod of Will. You're gonna click it. Can you click it? I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, it's basically a magical form of an autonomous activator, which is super awesome because it's a magic pack and people like autonomous activators, and those are usually in tech packs. So let's get back there. Oh, gone too far. Still gone too far in the other direction. What? Where'd Botron and the Minimi go? But there it is. Okay. And then we have Chisel, because I can't have any pack I make without Chisel. As well as Chisel and Bits. So, we got Chisel. We got Embers. I think there might be some that I would stick like down a neutral path. Excuse me, Melter. You're a bit big. So you have the neutral path, and maybe you start on the neutral path. Yeah, maybe you start on the neutral path. But then maybe dwarves are evil, you know? Possibility. Or not necessarily evil, but dark magic, however you want to think about that. We have Geolysis. Again, believe it or not, some of you might think that's complexity, but to me that's making things simpler, because one of the most annoying things about mining, to me anyway, is the amount of complexity you have to do in mining down and creating branch mines when you're after certain materials, right? It's like a certain material we want. You don't care about the copper that you're collecting. You don't care about the tin. You don't care about diorite or any of that stuff. You just want a certain material. And so, what the heck is this? Oh, Betweenlands. Right. Dark Druids. We'll talk about Betweenlands in a second. Trying to find a geolysis thingy. They are around. I saw them at the beginning of this video. Here we go. Hematite sample. So this basically means somewhere down here is iron. There's some copper. I'd have to turn off the old ore spawns that are already in here. But somewhere in here will be an iron vein. Who knows where? I've already hit bedrock. F3G. There's the chunk borders. Which, if you don't know how geolysis works, it's pretty much sticks a vein somewhere in a chunk. So I'm digging down in the middle. Somewhere in here there's going to be a whole bunch of iron. Nope, not there, not close to the middle. It's not directly below the sample, but the sample indicates a chunk which holds certain material, right? Diggy hole. Man, that's a callback. Good old Yogscast, there we go. Couldn't remember who they were for a second. Oops. Where are you hiding this iron, yo? It's in here somewhere. Maybe I've flown past it in my haste. Or something. It'll be in here. Guarantee it. Somewhere. And it'll be a large sample. That's the other thing. If you want iron, you're going to have a suitable amount of iron for a while. Once you find your vein. There is actually a way to make this easier. No deposits found. So I'm just furiously right-clicking now. So hopefully that message will change on our way up. We're going to try one more over here. Found hematite north of me. There we go. Alright. You'll notice that I haven't installed a... Here it is. Okay, cool. So, here you go. Hematite. Uses for hematite. Iron cluster. Uses for iron cluster. Iron... So if I dug that with a pick, you get that 100%, minimum 1, maximum 1. And I believe in the configs you can change that sort of thing. So there you go, that's how geolysis works. It's pretty cool, pretty easy when you're not furiously looking for things. I find when you're cheating, sometimes things can be harder to find. I'm going to turn those off. It's just the irony of it, really. Get back to where we were. Somewhere around here. And now I've got integrated dynamics. You might be thinking, that's a tech mod. No, it's not a tech mod. I've tried to explain the definition between tech mod and magic mod, and Vazkey will tell you the same damn thing. It's the theme. The theme of the mod dictates what kind of mod it is, not the mechanics. You have mineral saplings. Okay, but this is how integrated dynamics works. You have mineral saplings. You harvest mineral wood, which you then squeeze, mechanical squeezer, integrate, which you then squeeze. Okay, it was there when I searched, it's just on a funny angle. You squeeze it into a drying basin. Does anything look particularly tech-like to you yet? I don't think so. Yeah, stomp it down. There we go. And it produces a fluid. Eventually. Which is crystallized mineral. And then you make a variable store and all sorts of things out of crystals. Crystals. Crystals from a tree which you squeezed. It's not a tech mod. It's a magic mod. Anyway, yeah, that's my little tirade out of the way. Integrated dynamics is very magical. Especially if you turn off RF. Which this pack would, by the way. And this again is another one of those reasons why you might have a neutral path. A path which you can access whether you're on light or dark. And we've got soot, which I think is why this embers stuff is a little further in. Or not. Oh right, Betweenlands does some weird hackery. Where it inserts its own buckets into mods. So you'll just have to ignore the wood and blue wood buckets that you see. And then we have Nether expansion. It's just because the Nether's boring. Traditional Nether is boring. So we got Nether expansion. So I think that would definitely stay. It's also got its little own magical touch to it. Maybe I'll investigate some of the items and make sure nothing's too out of place, but I'm pretty sure. Then we've got platformer, which you could argue is techie. And I wouldn't blame you for arguing that it's techie. But what it produces is very low tech. Like the tech it starts here and ends here, right? Starts and ends with the platformer. Because after that, you're just making structures that are low tech, and they look nice, and they're easier to do without having to make them yourself in chisels and bits. So I've included platformer. Here's some quark. Excuse me. Reliquary. This reliquary's fun. Reliquary also allows for some automation stuff. This can sort of be used as an autonomous activator as well, depending on what you put on it. It's a little stricter, I believe. I have used them in the past, though. This also allows you to do things like XP storage and stuff that other tech mods allow you to do that you wouldn't normally be able to do. Reliquary is cool like that. And then we also have roots. So, funny thing is that with roots and Botania, they kind of have two. I have a bit of block to represent you. We kind of have two woodland themed mods, which isn't necessarily bad, but empty mug. Oh, that's from soot. That's the embers thing, embers expansion thing. Yeah, you can be our new representative of embers. Yeah, it's still good though. I mean, they are distinctly different in their way. Maybe Botania comes after maybe Botania comes after Roots, so it's kind of like a natural progression from simple botanical magic to more complex botanical magic. But you guys let me know. This is all part of the reason why I'm talking about it and making a video, because I'm just like, hey, what do you guys think? I would like some more dark representation, but I think that might come from the Betweenlands. I haven't explored Betweenlands enough. But also we have Spartan shields and Spartan weaponry, because that's cool. It's kind of lo-fi enough to be in a magic pack. And then we got Betweenlands, which is just like the most beautiful mod I have ever seen. It's kind of the exemplar. It used to be Immersive Engineering. I'm sorry, Blue, that you have lost this title. You've lost it to Betweenlands, so I don't think you'll be too mad. That I kind of thought that Minecraft modding could go in a far more artistically successful direction than it ever has. That's something I always thought was kind of lacking with Minecraft mods for the longest time, until things like Immersive Engineering and As an Ores mod. I can't believe I've forgotten the name of it. That magic mod with the cool like wands and shiz and eldritch. Those were kind of the start of stuff which made mods look amazing, right? They didn't just do a thing in a single block. They looked beautiful while doing it. And Betweenlands is one of those things. One of those mods. Absolutely gorgeous. And maybe we'll finish off the video by taking a look at some Betweenlands. Just a peek, because I don't want to ruin it too much for you guys that haven't actually seen into Betweenlands. We have Twilight Forest. So maybe like we have a dimension per magic thing, right? We have Twilight Forest as part of the light route, and Betweenlands as part of the dark route. That would be pretty cool, I think. What else we got? Still Twilight. We got stones, because everyone wants crazy looking stones in their mage towers. And that's it. That's what we got. So I'd like to add something else here, but quality of mod is also something to consider. There are other magic mods, but some of them are kind of a bit so I don't want to say this without discouraging the mod authors. They're not up to standard, not up to scratch. I mean, they should keep doing what they're doing, but maybe there's also mods that I haven't looked at, and I would be particularly interested in having some more dark representation. Thorncraft is the name of As an Ores mod, finally came back to me. Okay, so Swamp Talisman. And we do a thing with the Swamp Talisman. I think we need a sapling. Oh, we need any sapling, that's right. An oak sapling. Oh, we click it with that. We have this beast of a tree that we're stuck inside of, and we have to carve our way out. Looks like this. Isn't that gorgeous? You're not even in the dimension yet. So let's go into the dimension. The wilderness. We're in a tree again. Some lag as the dimension forms. But then look at this. Look at this! Isn't it gorgeous? We've got some like swamp plants. Look, these guys aren't afraid to have things on an angle. It suits Minecraft, it really does. It's just it has to be used well to have things that are use angles and so on, you know? And I'm sorry for the lag. That was just because I haven't optimized things yet. We've got some hollow log. If you break them, I think you get termites if you're unlucky. Got some cool flathead mushrooms. Got these guys which leave dynamic light. which is awesome because they use shaders in this mod, like their own packaged shaders, which is awesome. Got some algae. Whoa. Look at this. Look. Look at that. That's Minecraft. That's Minecraft. Look how cool Minecraft can be. Lo-fi doesn't just have to mean bad looking. Lo-fi can mean really good looking. I mean, look at this stuff. That's really good pixel art. All of this is really good pixel art. Anyway, that's enough gushing over Betweenlands. I'd really like to do a series with Betweenlands. So hopefully, like, this whole Keep It Simple Sorcerer thing works out really well, because then I will have a Betweenlands thing. Maybe that'll railroad me down the dark path, but hey, you guys can play the light path. Wouldn't that be fun? So yeah, Keep It Simple Sorcerer. Something I'm thinking about working on. I mean, I've started working on it, but whether I actually dive in and do it or not is another question. And you guys let me know, because you're my audience, and you're cool, and I like what you say and respect what you do. Because I'm some cheesy like that. Anyway, guys, love you lots, and thank you for watching, and back to a regular schedule soon, huh? Anyway, see you later.